Hello everyone and welcome back to Excel VBA Tutorial Series. In our today's chapter, I will demonstrate how can we delete rows using Excel VBA. So without wasting any time, you may want to jump down to the Developers tab and Visual Basic. So let me quickly show you an example of how this can be achieved, writing a simple line of code. So let's say delete this row is the data that I've just inserted in row number 6. So I've created a new sub called delete rows. In order to delete a row, I would need to write rows, open bracket, row index, which is 6, semicolon 6, dot delete. Just by doing this, I'm just saying from 6 to 6 delete the rows. So if I just run this right now, what this would do is, as you can see, this has pretty much deleted the row 6. Now assuming if we had a list of data, so let's say we've got a list, let's say pencil, let's say pen, books, goods, let's say if you wanted to run a loop through this list and delete rows, whichever rows were blank. So let me write a loop quickly to show how we could achieve this. So firstly, you may want to define an integer, you may want to define an object, you may want to define a range. Now as a part of this execution, you may also want to define loop until as integer, let's say I equal to 2. Since we'd like to start a loop from row number 2, you would need to set up your object to this workbook.sheets del rows.cells, which is our existing active sheet that we're currently on. Now you may want to assign my range to this workbook dot, okay, we've already defined my workbook, so we'll use that, rows dot count column 1 dot end scroll up. Now what this would basically do is this would select the last cell in row A, and it will give us row number 9 as to what we're looking at. Now let's run a loop, and let's say do while I is less than loop until, let's put loop until to my range dot row, which should be row 9. So we are saying do while row 2 is less than row 9. Of course we'll be increasing the value of I. Let's say I equal to I plus 1. Let's write loop. Now what we will do is we will loop through each row, and we will check in each row if my workbook row column 1 dot value equal to blank. Then what you will say rows I, and the colon you'll have to write it this way since we are using variables, and then again I dot delete. So for example, the first time the loop runs, this is what it would actually show up with what we've written right here. The second time we run it, it'll be 3 3, and whatever's blank, basically it'll keep deleting it. Now if a condition criteria is true, then we're saying just delete the row. Now and also what we'll have to do is we'll have to decrease the value of I, because since a row gets deleted, if there are 2 blank rows, it will just miss out 1 blank because it will move down to 7, and then it will directly check goods because that's what will come to 8. So I think also what we need to do is we need to keep decreasing the value of loop until equal to loop until minus 1. So this would keep decreasing the value of loop until every time it finds a blank cell, which will also speed up our execution time. So let's quickly run this loop right now. I'll directly run it from here, guys, and I'll show you how it works. So let's click on run, and as we can see, we've managed to delete all the blank rows using this loop. So guys, this is pretty much how we delete rows using Excel VBA. Take care and stay tuned for more videos.